Welcome to Cork, kid. It is grand to see you.
Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. I am literally so thrilled you're here today because we are looking at a massive, existential collision that is unfolding right now in the digital space. On one hand, we've got the incredibly dense, top-down weight of European copyright law, trying to, govern the internet. And on the other hand, we have the rapidly evolving, chaotic world of artificial intelligence. And right smack in the middle, the creator, trying to navigate how to protect their work and actually build trust. We're going to unpack exactly how complex international law is colliding with highly practical emerging creator frameworks.
So, who truly owns the content we create, share, and generate online, right? It's kind of the ultimate question of the AI era. I mean, when machines can scrape, learn from, and spit out endless variations of human culture in seconds, the whole idea of ownership gets really blurry. It's a question that lawmakers in Brussels and digital artists in their studios are both desperately trying to figure out. Okay, let's dive into this.
Here's a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. 1. The digital copyright crisis. 2. The EU copyright directive. 3. Text and data mining. 4. The Mardia era. 5. Actual intelligence certification. And 6. Anatomy of evidence. Part 1. The digital copyright crisis. Governing the ungoverned. Because, well, to really understand the solutions, we first have to understand the chaos. Rapid technological shifts have just shattered old business models. Rapid technological developments continue to transform the way works are created, produced, distributed, and exploited. That is pulled directly from the EU's Digital Single Market Directive. Basically, the European Union looked around and recognized, okay, we have a full-blown crisis on our hands. New business models were popping up so fast that old copyright frameworks were completely obsolete. It was causing massive legal uncertainty for creators and users alike. The EU realized they urgently needed to balance protecting human creators with the inevitable march of digital innovation. Section 2, the EU Copyright Directive, the top-down legal solution. And that realization leads us straight to Directive 2019/790. And this brilliantly illustrates how the law attempts to draw clear lines in the sand. So 2019, the directive is enacted. But watch how the liabilities shift over time. For press publications, publishers get rights over their online use, but those expire 2 years after publication. Then, for new online platforms, startups letting users upload content, they get a grace period. But exactly 3 years from when they first launch, their liability exemption for copyright infringement ends if they get too big. The law is literally putting a ticking clock on digital accountability. But obviously, society can't function if every single digital action triggers a copyright lawsuit. So the EU carved out these very specific safe harbors. Think about a museum making digital copies of a decaying poster to preserve it, or a teacher doing a distance learning class with copyrighted textbook illustrations. The directive explicitly protects these. It guarantees that scientific research, digital teaching, cultural heritage preservation, and out-of-commerce works can all thrive without constant legal threats.
However, for the big tech companies, the rules got significantly tougher. Enter the infamous Article 17. Before this, platforms were mostly shielded from liability if a user uploaded pirated content, as long as they took it down when asked. Well, not anymore. Article 17 totally flips the script. Now, platforms are legally obligated to make their best efforts to ensure the unavailability of unauthorized works. They went from being passive hosts to active gatekeepers. If unauthorized stuff appears, the platform itself can be held liable.
Section 3, Text and Data Mining, How AI Learns. We've talked a lot about the law. Now, let's look at the exact mechanism driving the AI revolution. Here's the definition straight from the EU. Text and data mining, or TDM, is any automated analytical technique aimed at analyzing text and data in digital form in order to generate information such as patterns, trends, and correlations. It's not magic, it's just computational analysis of massive data sets. Without TDM, generative AI simply does not exist, period. So, how do researchers actually do this legally
courting,
under these new rules?
For
first,
drinking
they
black
need lawful
porter
access,
as
like a
fast as you
subscription.
fill.
Second, and this is absolutely crucial, a machine-readable opt-out check. If a creator's metadata says no, the mining stops. Third, secure extraction and storage. And finally, automated analysis. It's a highly structured, legally bound process now. Section 4, the Mardia era, the bottom-up creator solution. Because at the end of the day, laws alone don't create culture. Artists and technologists are building their own solutions to fight back against ungoverned AI. Now, what's really fascinating here is the stark contrast between two eras of AI creation. You've got Collection A, the Mardia era. Mardia translates to apparently. This was the Wild West, ungoverned, unstructured, no audit trails. In direct response to that chaos, we get Collection B, actual intelligence. This represents the governed era. These works are human-authorized, deeply auditable, and their provenance is protected. It's a total night-and-day difference. Section 5, Actual Intelligence Certification, Visualizing Trust. So, what does this governed era actually look like in practice? Take the Actual Intelligence Certification Framework, for example. You've got Corkonian, the cultural ambassador of this whole movement, right alongside the physical certification. The entire framework rests on human verification checkmarks: provenance verified, audit trail complete, human review approved, and authorized sign-off. It is the literal visual manifestation of accountability. To actually get certified, it's a meticulous bottom-up process. Apply, submit work, go through audit and review, get human authorization, become certified, and finally publish and prove. This is how creators are actively standing out in a flooded AI market. They aren't just selling an image anymore. They're selling verifiable trust. Section 6, Anatomy of Evidence, Building the Framework. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly makes up this evidence? It's called an evidence package. Every governed work gets a unique ID, and look at the rigorous anatomy here. A metadata sheet, a prompt record, a human review record, an approval record, a full audit trail, and a provenance certificate. If anybody challenges the copyright, the creator has a complete, irrefutable paper trail proving human intelligence directed the AI. This entire ecosystem relies on three entities working in total harmony. Corkonian tells the story. A-Ward Publications curates the story, and Brihan AI protects the trust. It's just a living demonstration of accountability in action. Which brings us full circle. The image attracts attention. The evidence creates trust. The governance creates value. You see, in the AI era, anyone can generate a pretty image, right? It's the evidence behind the image that creates trust, and ultimately, it's the governance of that evidence that creates real, protectable market value. So the crucial point is summarized perfectly by A-Ward. Trust isn't a feature, it's a framework. You literally cannot just slap a trustworthy label on AI. You have to build a rigorous, auditable, legally sound structure beneath it. We have journeyed all the way from the dense legal text of EU directives to the practical, evidence-backed packages of digital creators. The Wild West of AI is closing, and the governed era is here for sure. So the question I'll leave you with today is this. As the ungoverned era ends, how will you prove your digital humanity? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparked some profound curiosity about the future of digital creation.